Hey, welcome back to The Average Kitchen. Today we're gonna make Traeger Smoked Maple Bacon Beans. So you'll see here, I've got some navy beans that I soaked for 24 hours overnight. Very, very crucial step to making beans. It'll take you forever to cook these if you don't pre-soak them. So basically what I'm gonna do is get them into a cast iron pan, or pot I should say. And I may have to add some water. I will have to add some water. So with these, we're going to boil them on the stove, not vigorously, but like a light boil for 45 minutes to an hour before we put them out on the Traeger. So these are a navy bean. And what I can tell you is when you go to soak them and you add a bunch of water, come back in about an hour or so, you'll probably have to add more because they're just rehydrating and they're soaking up the water. So with these beans, you'll see, we're gonna get them on, like I said, a light boil. You'll see some of the starch start to come out of the beans. So I usually just take a spoon and sort of scoop off the top, put it in a bowl, and then we don't have a mess. So as I mentioned, you can start to see the starch is coming out of our beans here. And I'm just going to just sort of scrape off the top of that so that we don't boil over and make a complete mess. As you can see here, we got these on a light boil. So I'm just going to start to scoop off a little bit more of that starch that I talked to you about. Do we say about funny? I don't know. I think we say it normally. So I'm just using a spatula here just to sort of mix these up a little bit. So you definitely want to make sure that these don't become super mushy. So I have a gas stove. If you have electric at home, it may take you a little bit longer, but just keep an eye on them. And when you start to see them sort of break down, you want to stop the boiling process. So I just want to make a quick point here with my cast iron pot. I just drained the beans, as you can see. So I just took a wet paper towel and I'm just going to wipe the edge of the top of the pot to get that kind of grimy starch ring off there, because ideally you don't want those mixed in with your beans. So it's now time to add all of our ingredients to our beans to make them sing. So what we have here is a full cup of Canadian maple syrup that we're going to pour in, and we're going to use a spatula for sure because we don't want to waste any of that. Now we're going to add a full cup of molasses. That molasses is going to give our beans a nice, rich, deep color and flavor. So next I'm going to add in a full cup of ketchup. Now, do you have kids? I always get scared when I open up this ketchup. My kids are ketchup monsters, especially my oldest guy. It's not bad. Not great, but not bad.
Excuse me. You're so terrible.
Of course, it has to be at the end of the bottle. Couldn't be full. So we're going to put that off to the side. I'm going to open up another one. Now these little tiny tabs, if you got fat fingers like me, we'll see. I generally cannot pull this off. Oh my God, I got it. Success! All right, add our cup of ketchup there, and we'll probably just add whatever's left in this bottle. It's no big deal if there's a little bit of extra. So I'll add that ketchup in. Now we're going to add in about 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. If you don't have minced garlic and you just got cloves, then you can add in 4 minced cloves, no problem. Put that off to the side. So there's our garlic, add that. Then here we've got 2 teaspoons of dry mustard, 2 teaspoons of chipotle, and salt and pepper. So we're going to put that in. Then I'm going to put in, I've got a secret ingredient actually, the bacon, which is on that table right behind Jamie. If Jamie, can you pass me that, please? Perfect, thanks. So we got about 7 or 8 strips of bacon that I pre-cooked this morning. I'll put that in, and I'm actually going to put in a tablespoon of bacon grease, not low fat, for the disclaimer. And then the last thing we're going to add here is some onion. So this is a really big onion, but I would say a good sized onion would be good. And we're going to use our STARFRIT chopper that we did a review on quite a while ago, which if you've never seen the review on it, check it out. If you've never seen this product work, it's pretty awesome. So just like that, our onion is cut up. So we'll add that like that. Then we'll dice up the rest of our onion here, or chop up, I should say. A lot faster than dicing. So we'll throw that in there. So you saw how quick and easy that works. This is like, I don't know, a $20 item, Canadian, $20 item. And you can pretty much get it anywhere, and it saves a lot of time. So we got all of that now. So we got our tail end of our ketchup, we'll just add, so we don't waste any. So when you throw this on your smoker, you got to keep an eye on it. You probably want to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the smoke setting for probably about an hour, which is I think 180 degrees Fahrenheit. And then we're going to bump it up to about 300 degrees Fahrenheit for probably 3 or 4 hours. But you may have to add some water because your beans will continue to soak up all of this liquid. In the meantime, I'm just going to give this a quick stir.
What if you don't have a smoker?
If you don't have a smoker, you can definitely oven bake these. And if you're super adventurous, you can actually put them on your barbecue or charcoal or gas barbecue and cook them nice and slow. So you could already see, and these aren't even starting to be cooked yet, that they have this like beautiful, rich color already. These beans, I've made them numerous times before. They freeze exceptionally well. What I've done in the past is vacuum seal them, throw them in the freezer, and then when it's time to take them out, I just throw them in a slow cooker. Amazing. To the smoker we go. We are outside at the smoker, about to put these on. I stand corrected, the smoke setting is 150 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're gonna throw those on and we'll give it an hour. So my beans have been smoking for just over an hour. So now I'm gonna bump the temperature up. First thing I'm gonna wanna do is do a pellet check, because if you have a Traeger or anything that's pellet fed, there's nothing more catastrophic than running out of pellets or it going dry, so we're good there. So I'm gonna bump that up to 300 degrees. Let's have a look. So those look pretty awesome. Let's give them a stir here. So I am gonna add about a cup of water. So I could still just even tell by just the beans up against the spoon that they're still quite firm. So that's one other point I wanted to make as well, is some people really like a soft, mushy bean, and some people like more of a real firm bean. So you'll have to sort of gauge based on how you like your beans on when you're gonna stop this cooking process. So for me, I like it sort of, I still like some texture to the bean. So I don't want them super mushy, but I don't want them hard either. So I'll probably give that another 3 or 4 hours and then check it, maybe taste them, see how they are, and then go from there. So 2 hours in total now on our beans, and you can start to see how nice and dark they're going to start to get as those beans soak up all those amazing flavors that we put in there. Looks fantastic.
Hey guys, so we're 3.5 hours into the smoke here on these
Jamie,
beans.
what are you doing?
Nothing.
Sorry for that imposter. We had somebody trying to take over the average kitchen here, but we are 3.5 hours into the smoke. Let's have a look at those beans. Oh, look at those all looking nice. So we may have to add a little bit more water, but I should taste them to make sure of the consistency. So I went and got a spoon, give these a try to see just on the, more or less the texture of the beans. So they taste fantastic, but they're still a little bit hard. Like not to the point where like they're not edible, but I probably will add another cup of water here. And I'll probably let them go for another hour, hour and a half, I would say. But I'll check them probably every 30 minutes. In the meantime, I think you get a real good idea of how to make these. I think the texture and consistency of the bean is subjective depending on how you like your smoked beans. So that'll be the end of our episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, leave us a comment. We'll see you on the next one.